It's a mouthy yoke. It's a mouthy yoke. We're gonna talk about stuff and get down to work. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm the mouthy York, the mouthy York. No fucks given at the mouthy York. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This video game CounterStrike that I play,
It's pretty dope.
is cool. And one of the pistols that you were capable of purchasing is we nickname it as the Deagle, okay? Because it's a 50 cal Desert Eagle. Deagle,
yeah, makes sense.
It's a 50 cal pistol, so it's not accurate if you spray it, but if you can hit on a mouse, it's like a one tap, you know what I mean? That's what we call it, a boom. And if you perfectly get that pixel on the forehead, they're done.
Dirty Harry style.
Yeah. And we call it Juan Deegan. And we spell it out in chat. Like if you get it, you know, you're all boom, you're all, you just Juan Deeged. You know, like.
Compared to Call of Duty, how is Counter-Strike?
The best thing on the face of this earth.
Yeah.
It really is such a better first-person shooter game. It is the most precise, like for sure, statistically, like, and the way the algorithms and the pixels work, especially on a PC, it's the most precise ever made.
Check it out, because Kaden enjoys about Cole, really. My youngest, he's Call of Duty or Fortnite. He's just all
obsessed. Obsessed.
Yeah, you might not show him Counter-Strike then. I would never show him this podcast, or at least fast forward. Because, dude, I'm hella addicted, guaranteed. I quit, and I know how it is now. So like I know how to control it, and now I don't let it kill my work or my podcasting for the most part or anything like that I want to actually do. But man, Counter-Strike takes a lot of time off my hands.
I was going to say, like, even sometimes when I play COD, it's different when you play online because you're actually playing against real people that are trying to be tactful like yourself. And
yeah.
And like you said, it's engaging. It's like you trying to get better. And if you're not careful, like this week I took a couple of days off work because of my knee.
Yeah, yeah.
And a couple of I spent maybe 2 or 3 hours each day I'm like, which was good. I think it's good to do that and relax in bed and just not think, but you're on that. And
yeah,
I caught myself when I got home from work. I wanted to run back up there, and I'm like, wait a minute, I can't.
Yeah,
you know. So yeah,
like Cole, like he had it, and then he just like left it the way it is. Like Counter-Strike, he played it for like a bit and just left it.
It's because it's extremely hard to start.
Yeah,
but once you get good at it, it's not good.
I suck.
I don't like it. I suck too, but man, there's sometimes you get in the streaks. But by the way, people, I got Rob Bremerman, Kaden Bremerman, his son. This is who I have this weekend. And I hope y'all enjoy what we're about to talk about. Right now, we're talking about video games.
Important things of life. Coffee,
games. And video games.
No, man, thanks for having us on, dude. Love you. Always loved you.
These guys
appreciate you.
Are actually a very special part in my life because you helped me through so much in the spiritual sense and in the way of the word and God and everything, and it's helped me out, and I don't really care who knows about it or what, but like
I appreciate that, man. We love you.
It's real cool. So I mean, of course we've had our fair share of conversations. You have all kinds of stories and everything like that, so it only makes sense. And I can't imagine what your little man right here has in his head either.
Yeah, I ask him all the time, what are you thinking? And the stuff that comes out of his mouth, sometimes I'm like, or sometimes he's really not thinking anything. Yeah. It's like when your wife or your girlfriend asks you, what are you thinking? And you're like, I'm really not thinking anything. Yeah. I'm just staring off into space. But proud of him, like even both my boys, you know, Kaden 13, Cole 10, they're just, as a parent, you're cautious of things, of like teaching or learning, but like what are they picking up What are what's their perceptions on things?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but watching them interact in life, and they do theater and skate and so much, I'm real pleased. I've just watching them grow, man. It's amazing, and I really ask them, what are you thinking? Because I want to know their perception. Just don't give me the right answer. Because I've had to tell them that. I'm like, dude, I know you know the right answer. Just don't say it to press me or please me, because that's garbage. I said, what are you really thinking? It's okay to share your heart. If you don't understand it, cool. We'll walk through it.
Yeah.
And I want him to have that with the Father, not just because it's mom and dad's thinking or reasoning. It's, look, dude, any man lacks wisdom, let him ask of God. It's like, go to the Father, dude. I want you to have your and his relationship, and he'll show himself to you. And so that's, you kind of step back and you watch and give him some freedom in some areas.
Yeah.
And at the time, just know when to jump in and not to jump in.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
this is what I'm talking about, people. I just go into his house. I'm like, hey, what's up, Rob? You know, yeah, how's it going? On my brain and my heart. That's what happens every time. Every time.
No, it's good, dude. We even you and Julia, we've always just, man, my wife loves you guys, and just see the Father's heart and love for you, and I mean, like for everybody. I'm always asking the Father, let me see people the way you see them.
Yeah.
Not through religion or doctrine or what are you seeing, Father?
Yeah.
You know, let me see the gold that you see, because everyone knows, we know our shame, we know our faults, we know what we're doing that we don't like about it. Even the Apostle Paul in scriptures says, I hate that I want to do the good, but I still end up doing the bad I don't want. But it's not me, it's the sin nature in me. And that's why he goes by, you know, that old man has been crucified with the Christ, but he still talks about that battle. But what we do is, I'm sorry, I'm just jumping into something. Is something you?
This is what this is about.
Want to take, and what I've learned, been my own since 17, and really just thankful for my parents. You know, it wasn't perfect life, but they did with their knowledge.
Yeah.
With their revelation of who God was in love. And it wasn't perfect. And there was a lot of crazy times, hard times, but I can remember a point in my life being a parent now. And me and Jen just had this talk. You look at your parents or other parents, because you're always feeling as a parent, it's a battle of like, I'm doing it wrong. I'm always failing. I'm not doing this right. I'm not doing it good enough. I'm not. And so you realize what your parents did, they only did with the freedom they knew, with the revelations they knew. And I can remember the Father just being like, let it go. Forgiveness is just, you release forgiveness. It's like, that's what they knew. They did the best what they know how.
Yeah.
And so I had a whole point to all that, and it just went away. And I don't know, I don't know where I'm going with it, but I guess what to say is, okay, back to it. When I was in the hospital, probably 2012, my appendix ruptured.
Yeah.
Didn't know it ruptured.
I remember.
I'm the tough guy at work. This hurts really bad, but I'm tough, and I'm hunched over in my truck. So what I do, I go home and go eat. Hey, babe, let's go to a Chinese buffet and eat. And maybe I'm just hungry. This is
maybe.
And you know what, man? I kept asking God. I'm like, God, what is this? I know you're the healer. You can heal. Just heal me. And I kept hearing him tell my heart, go to the hospital, go to the doctor. No. I'm arguing with God. No, just heal me. Go to the hospital. But really the root was I was just scared.
Yeah.
Finances, I didn't know what it looked like. And so out of fear nearly killed me. Because I ended up rupturing, and I go to the hospital the next day, and they're like, yeah, your appendix ruptured yesterday. You should be dead. But, you know, lying in the hot, and they had to cut me open several times and pull the intestines out and clean stuff. And by laying there in the hospital bed, I remember it was snowing, and I looked out the window. Because they gave me pain meds like every 4 hours, which sucked because they gave me such a small dosage. It worked for 45 minutes, and the next 3 hours and 15 minutes, I'm just like, you know, white knuckling it.
Yeah.
And I had this thought. I'm staring out the window, and I'm thinking to myself, we're so bad to each other. Because you think about the drug addict. You think about like you said, video games, it become easily addicted like that. To me, addiction's addiction, whether it's fear, lying, stealing. There's that's, but my thought, whether people believe it or not, or agree with me, that's okay. The root is fear. We carry our own shame. Yeah. And so now I remember my point.
That was all gorgeous, in my opinion. That was gold.
Point. We all know, right? We all have a soul, and we know what we don't like about ourselves. Yeah. We hate it. And so sometimes out of shame, we find ways to cover that. So I can project myself. Okay, bear with me. I know I have a lot of rabbit trails, but it always comes back somehow. That's what my wife says. I don't know how you do it. You got all these rabbit trails. Follow the rabbit down the hole, but it ends up back up. Okay, forgive me, people. Let me back up to the hospital scene. This will tie in. I'm staring out the window, and I'm thinking about, because I want something to take this pain away. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting. I got to wait 3 more hours, and she's going to come give me a shot. And for 45 minutes, I can, you know that movie, Nacho Libre, mm-hmm. where Steven sees that girl and that song will play in the background. And that's what I would like, just put my head back and, Jimi Hendrix, whatever. I mean, I finally felt that ease. And for that moment, I could finally sleep until someone would walk in and want to stick you with something. And I'm like, well, there went my 45 minutes. You just ruined my only 45 minutes of peace. Now I got to wait another 3 hours. But I remember staring out the window thinking, I feel like the Father spoke to my heart. And I'm like, people want freedom. Yeah. They don't know how to get it. So for the moment to get it, they run to these things. That's because out of shame, they think, well, I can't go do this. And so I'm going to hide in my shame. But the only way I can find peace, I want to shoot up. I want to sit in front of the TV. I'm going to actually, it's my wealth. It's how I impress you. But I'm really scared. If you really knew who I was, you'll reject me. And so I thought to myself, we see people down in the street. For this conversation, it's to make it easy and everyone can see it. Think about the guy you see on the street, either begging or asleep. It's easy for us to walk by and kick him and say, get a job, right? We've all done it. We've all thought it. But my wife is always so good and goes, I wonder what their story is.
Yeah.
Now, are there hustlers out there? Of course. There's knuckleheads everywhere. But for the one person who just is just having a bad time and can't muster up the faith, the strength to do anything. And it helps when you have a full tummy to do something, and you're hungry, but you need that next drink so you can at least function. And so we walk by and we kick him and we say, get better. Why can't you be better? Which to me, that's what religion does. When I say religion, if you look at the definition of what it is, and I look at Mother Teresa, and I'm like, dang, she did it was for such love. She just loved people. She loved the Lord. She loved people. But I think for a religious mindset can bring, it sounds real holy, and it makes you feel real good about yourself because you're actually doing something. It's not even a love for the Lord. It's not even a love for people. It's still about you. So we tell those people on the street, fix yourself, get better. And they're like, I want to, but I can't. I don't know how. Mm-hmm. Just like me in the hospital bed. I want to get better. I'm waiting for my next hit so I can feel better. And so I'm walking by Pinky's one time to go to Jersey Girl, and what is that guy's name? He came out of Pinky's. It was like a big fur shawl and his bottle in the bag, and I'm just talking with him. I think his name is James. I don't know, but anyway, just talking with him, and I looked at him. I said, hey, man, the Lord loves you. He's like, yeah, I know. I pray every morning. I said, no, dude. The Father loves you. He wants to let you know you don't have to keep running anymore. He wants to heal your heart. And he looked at me and was like, I asked you a question. I'm like, yeah. Is God mad at me? I said, no. Because according to Scripture, he took all his anger and wrath on Jesus. And so he said, so he's not mad at me. I said, no, he loves you. He wants you to know you don't have to run anymore. You can go to him with your problem. And whatever it is in your heart that caused you to run and to drink, he'll walk with you and heal it. And I'm always trying to let my kids know, because as kids, is what we do. We don't want to get caught by our parents, right? We hide. But there's a rule in my house that says even when people come to stay, whether the Father brings them and they're detoxing or they just need a place to stay or whatever, the rule is there is nothing in the dark. Nothing. Because that's where the enemy's playground is. When you hide out of fear and shame, that's the open door. There's nothing to be in the dark. And I said, we can walk through anything, but there's trust. And so really asking the Father for wisdom, especially with my kids, to like, tell us anything, not going to shock. And we can walk with it. Because that's what the Father's done with me. It's like, dude, why are you running to fix your problem yourself? I'm like, yeah, but and really what it was, it's, we have this society, we promoted perfection or punishment, right? You better perform this way. You better look this way. Sit in church. We were at the theater last night because they did theater camp and they did their little shindig. It was just fun. I'm proud. I mean, theater takes a lot of courage, man. Just watching them get up there. And I was sitting there and I was watching people. And I looked over and I said, I wonder, you think if everyone's sitting here, how much hurt is people are carrying? But you let the enemy speak to yourself and condemn yourself to make you feel unworthy. So you come here full of pride, trying to impress them and make yourself feel better than them instead of actually seeing their hurt and how you can love. Because we're all in this life together, man. We're all in it together. And the way I've asked the Father, if I got to figure it out, I'm far from it, man. I'm still learning his love. I'm learning more and more that he is a good Father and he can be trusted. And this week, dude, and I busted my knee and I had to sit there with ice on my knee. And I realized some areas in my life. God, really, there's some areas in my life that if I don't do it right, you're going to punish me. You're going to take it away. I didn't realize it was there. I tore my ACL on my left knee back in like 96. And I always took it like, oh, I shouldn't have gone to play ball that day. I knew it in my heart I should have stayed home. But then when that happened, I took it like I was punished because I was disobedient. Because my heart, I didn't know the love of the Father. I just knew something in my heart. I wanted to honor God and everything. And my wife said, it's funny that your right knee feels the same way and you're taking it as punishment. And I'm like, it hit me. And I've had to repent. Repent means change my mind. Doesn't mean you got to figure it out. When you realize you want to go on a diet, you repent, right? You change the mindset of, I want to get healthy. So you get on the road to healthiness. That's all it means. It doesn't mean I repent and I'm wake up and all of a sudden I'm 100 pounds lighter. It's a process, man. You're going to learn the reason why you're obese. You could quit smoking. Yeah, I applaud you. But why did you smoke? Where is that tied to? You could quit drinking. Why do you drink? You want to quit so you can look better on the outside to impress Tom, Dick, and Harry, whatever you want to do. Yeah. I'm done with that. I told my wife I'm done. I don't want to do the formulas just to serve Christianity. That's just dumb. That there's no purpose for that. I want to know the Father and his nature in everything. You know what I mean? And so it's really, I guess to go back to that one thing, we're so quick to see the bad in everyone. And we feel proud of ourselves because we preach against sin and we better repent. And yeah, there's a time to be the John the Baptist, but everyone knows, we all know what we hate about ourselves. Mm-hmm. But I know when people walk up to me, not too long ago, I was feeling pretty crappy about myself. We're our worst critic, right? And I was feeling really bad, just really bad. And people were in our house a Sunday night, and we're on the back porch, and I'm just like, this is stupid. This sucks. What are we doing? It's like, hey, man, so-and-so's here to see you. And I'm like, okay, here it comes. I'm about to be banished or whatever you want to call it. And he just looked at me and said, man, the Father's proud of you. Loves you. Doing a good thing. Man, it broke me. I cried. You know? And so I'm asking the Father, let me see that. I hate my first reaction sometimes is judgment, right? We do that. Sometimes it's like our guard. But Father, what do you see, man? What do you want to do in this situation? Mm-hmm. Not, so in a nutshell, all of that to say, let's go to the Father, man. It's a relationship. He knows you better than anybody else. He created you.
Dang. What do you got?
No pressure.
Don't go to Chinese buffet when you're hungry.
Yeah, that's what did it.
When your stomach hurts, you probably shouldn't go to the Chinese buffet to make your stomach not hurt.
Right?
Yeah.
It was so good.
It was? You still ate it and everything?
Of course, I was bummed because I couldn't enjoy it because my side hurt so bad. I'm like, look at all this shrimp, this lo mein. Oh, they got shark. Oh,
Dude.
right.
So how many times did you get cut up?
Twice.
Twice?
Three times. First time they tried to go to your belly button. They couldn't get to the appendix, and they had cut me open in the bottom of my stomach, and that's when they realized, oh, stuff is really bad. Like I got septic.
Yeah.
And we had this guy called Dr. Eeyore. That's what I called him because everything was always bad news. Eeyore, that's what we called him. And my wife would tell you the story because it was supposed to be like a 45-minute surgery, and from start to finish. And she realized it's been 2 hours. No one's come to find her. So she's like, I'm looking for people. She says, she's like, Rob, it was like a movie. I'm walking down the dark hallway. And at the end of the hallway was a desk with a little light over the doctor. And he just looked at me and said, sit down. Stuff's not good. And yeah, it was pretty bad. Cut me open. He wanted to cut me open again on my chest and put me like in the coma for 2 months to heal. And I had hospice come talk to me, and it was a bad deal. And I kept asking the Father, what, man? Is this it? Is this where I go? I stayed in faith. I had a moment where the thought actually flew my head, is imagining my wife and my boys, my wife raising my kids without me, because I just had this thought, I'm not getting out of here. But my first instinct is like, okay, I got to pray. I got to do all these things to make sure God does something. You know, that's not who he is. I had to lay there and really look at his scripture, Psalms 91:14, that says, as soon as I call, he answers. And I had to trust that. It's because you have to walk some things out in your life. Mm. Even though I walk through the shadow of the valley of death, I fear no evil. You know, people preach so much, because if you'll never have problems, you'll never have this, you're not in faith. Look, we have great formulas, and some of them are really good, and we do them. We like our self-help stuff. We like all that, but really, you just trust the Father, man. And so it got really bad.
Yeah.
And I really just said, Father, I don't want to believe for something if this is it. But I felt his presence was so thick in the room. And then the guy wanted to cut me open again. And my wife tells it better, but Dr. Eeyore came in the hospital one night and said, look, stuff's not good. We got to cut him open again. And when he came in and he said that, and he said, not good, I checked out. I turned my head, I got my wife, my mom at the foot of the bed. And I'm like, they'll deal with it. And I'm asking God, I don't know what to do. And I heard in my heart, tell him no. I said, what? Tell this doctor no. I'm like, okay, great. I'm going to be one of those. They're going to see me as one of those, pat on the head, little Christian, and you're a little faith, and you're not practical. But I kept hearing him tell him no. And I said, okay. So I sat up and I said, you know what, doctor? I'm not going to do the surgery. I know who I believe in, but we're not going to do the surgery tomorrow. I said, but you know what? You have something I need. Let me pray for you. Prayed for him, prayed for his wife, and he just started bawling. And he left. And so another doctor came in the next morning and said, hey, because this Dr. Eeyore is from El Paso. Like, I don't remember his real last name. My mentality was Eeyore. He went back to El Paso because he was out here helping out. And the next doctor came in and like, hey, I hear you don't want to do the surgery. And I said, no. He said, look, this one, because that Eeyore wanted to cut me open at the chest. This guy just said, look, I'm going to cut you open in the stomach again. I'm going to pull everything out, wash it. We'll be good. I said, no. And I got up, me and my wife, and I had to walk with all these tubes. I sat in the little foyer, and I said, it's weird, babe. I heard no with that doctor, but for some reason, I'm feeling the peace about this guy. So I'm confused. Am I scared, or am I not in faith? Am I freaking out? But I told the doctor, okay, we'll do it. Did it, 45 minutes, fixed everything. I was good. I was home in a week. I was in hospital 2 weeks, home for a week, back to work. People kept telling me, you're going to be home for 2 months. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. And I kept listening for the Father to speak. Every day I would get up and go to work for an hour, come home. It's like you're getting stronger every time. And I think that's what life is. If you listen, he'll speak and he'll tell you what to do. Will you get some things wrong? Yeah. Will you miss it? Yeah. But if you set your ears to hear his voice, you'll hear it. If you set your heart for him, his word says, those who trust me lack no good thing. You know what I mean? And that's what I set my heart to. Like, okay, Father, it may not be what I want or what I think's going to happen, what I want to see happen. But even for a wife, and I asked the Father for a wife, I said, I don't want to choose. So to me, I don't want to choose, because to me, I think that's second best. I want you to bring her to me, because I know that's what you have for me. And we celebrated 16 years yesterday. Been together 18. Have we walked through the valley of shadow of death? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you would have told me 8 years ago we'd still be married, nope. Nope. But when you trust the Father, I just asked him, how do I love? That was it.
Yeah, that's something that nothing can explain is love. You know, like, that's kind of weird. Like, there's a YouTube video, The Science About Love or whatever, and it basically is like 4 minute long, and it's like, yeah, they don't know nothing about it.
We think we do. It sounds good. It makes good theories. Makes me feel better. Equal love. Oh, I just love you. Oh yeah, I love you because you're doing everything I want you to do.
Boy, this love.
My boy.
Yeah, what is that? I bet you I could find it. Bet.
You know, I've been enjoying, dude, is, man, Pete Rock's got some great, smooth, his hip-hop instrumentals. Pete Rock, or Theory Has It, is just some, been mixing a lot with that.
Yeah, it's like,
Get 200 meg
oh my God.
TV channels and
I'm sorry, people.
It's the best video ever. This one right here.
Sudden link.
Yes.
I'll get sued right now.
I remember all those movie channels were the thing to have.
And historians to poets and scientists alike, love has captured our imagination and curiosity for centuries. Many have experienced the rush of falling in love for the first time, or the deep feelings of love for your children, family, and friends. But what is love from a biological perspective? No doubt it's intertwined with the evolutionary survival of our species. After all, you come from an unbroken line of organisms reproducing, from the very first microbe that split in two to your ancestors who have all successfully mated since the dawn of time. Sadly, if you fail to reproduce, this perfect streak comes to a halt.
This is ironic.
To reproduce,
right.
We're also by lowering the threshold that, because of this, you nominate this region while learning becomes much easier because it's pleasurable and perceived as a reward.
Pleasurable.
Are injected with either oxytocin or vasopressin, they'll instantly find a mate to pair bond with. Finally, studies have shown that people in love have low levels of serotonin, which is similar to people with obsessive-compulsive disorder. This is likely the cause of our obsession and infatuation during early love.
Okay, so they know, like, the mechanics of
That just
some
looks way
stuff.
too hard. Just.
I don't know. I felt like last time I
What's
watched
your
that,
thought
it was all-
on that, Mouth of York?
My thought on that?
Yeah.
On like the whole thing?
Yeah.
I think they just looked at some history books of science and put it in a YouTube video.
Yeah, came up with their own conclusion, right? That's funny.
I mean, that he's pretty cool. There's a few things on there that is just, there's a dogma to everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's stigmas and dogmas to science. There's stigmas and dogmas to religion, and it's when those extremes get practiced all the time is where everything falls apart into calamity. And the whole thing about science, though, is it's supposed to be ultimately open-minded. Always can be questioned, always can change and everything like that. And if you live in the physical world and have to deal with reality on a day-to-day basis, then you kind of have to know a little bit of some science, and so I'm always interested, like biology mainly. I like biology.
I love science.
So
does God. He made it.
Yeah. So like ultimately, and that's why I also think it's pointless to try and like really this is going to sound bad, but understand God, like I think trying to like fathom how it all works and getting down to it and everything like that, like I think it's pointless, because if you already have learned it, what we've learned now, you know that we're at the tip of the iceberg, not even. And so like, and it's an infinite deal that goes, you can just learn and learn, find out and discover and all this stuff. But ultimately, like you said, God created all this, And I feel like sometimes people get caught up in trying to find out how it all works and how you think it works or anything like that, and they lose it.
We're so frantic for answers.
Yeah.
And when we don't get, we come up with our own theory.
Yeah.
Instead of just seeking him. And I think there's times I told someone I don't have all the answers. And there's some I just don't care. Like you said, it's just this pointless. And there's some it's okay to ask because the word says if I seek him, he'll show me the mysteries.
Yeah.
But out of my love, like for example, my 13-year-old, 10-year-old, out of my love for him, I know I could give him a car right now. Just to say, Ferrari, whatever. Because if you really love me, you will give me this. If I really love you, I won't give it to you because you'll kill yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not
But in our mindset, we take things as punishment. We take things like, oh, you just don't mean. It's like, no, you don't understand. You can't handle that right now.
Yeah.
And I think because you could look at scripture and people have spent years debating this. The exact same people could argue over one scripture and they base doctrines and theologies and they'll accuse each other. Well, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. And I'm like, I really think we're missing it here.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. Even with science, I love science, man. It's amazing. There's a guy out there, I can't remember his name, but he actually goes around to debates like at Harvard, Yale.
Bill Nye.
And at the time, he was like, look, if you win, I'll write you a check for $250,000. And he defends creation. He'll show you the timeline, show you everything. And I think that's amazing. And I think there's people who are called to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, me and the guy at work yesterday were just tripping. Like, dude, God has people everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
In the science world, TV, radio, like Buster, my tattoo artist who just loves God. And he's in there. You look at the skate world, the BMX, God has people everywhere. He has people at McDonald's. He's got people at the gas station. People who just, God is eagerly waiting for people to know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
He makes himself available.
Yeah.
So like you said, so some things to me are stupid and pointless. I'm like, but to this guy, that's his passion. He's going after it. So I'm like, okay, dude, that's your thing. But yeah, I think because we don't get answers, we're trying to find answers. And when we don't, we find the next logical thing. We create theology out of it.
Yeah.
Well, who's that guy that just died?
Stephen Hawking.
Hawkins, yeah. He looks so miserable. And I don't know if this is the same guy. About the same time, him and Billy Graham were just starting out. And Hawkins, I think, was a believer. Okay, y'all, world out there, I may be talking about the wrong person, but let's just say it was. And there was a moment in Billy Graham's life where he was like, God, you got to show me this is real. And I think Hawkins was getting big. And then he fell off and decided God's not real. Well, the other guy, Billy Graham.
Okay, Stephen Hawkins is the dude in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
This is who we're talking about.
Hardcore atheist that just was like, God's not real. You're weak-minded if you believe him. I think that's the same guy that started.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
More or less, I just know of his work.
But yeah, if you look at him in the picture, I'm like, bro, you look death. You look miserable.
Well, yeah, he's disabled.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know
how do you know he was miserable?
People put off a demeanor. Eyes are the window to the soul, right?
I suppose. I mean, but that seems a little out there. Like, I don't know that he was miserable. I mean, normally people with disabilities tend to be happier.
Exactly.
I've seen.
I guess what I mean by that is, I guess I've asked the Father, discernment means whether what you believe or not, you can pick up someone's vibe. I could look at a picture and I'm like, there's hurt, there's pain, there's somewhere. Well, we all got hurt and pain, but what I'm saying is, I looked at him, they put a picture up and he passed, and I'm like, man, my heart broke for the guy. I was like, he, out of anger, saying, there is no God. And I've watched people pass in anger, and it's horrible. And I've watched people pass with a peace. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, I'm not saying, I don't know if this is the same guy, but I heard a story on the radio. It was like Billy Graham and this other guy. One was a believer, turned hardcore atheist, like writing books against God, that God's not real. They work so hard to prove something that they don't believe in. That's not there. I don't know. And then he passes, and the same guy who did believe passes, and there's this One had a piece and one just looked. And you're exactly right. I know people who are just disabled. They look at us like, I said, babe, they probably look at us like we're stupid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the most amazing people, whether they don't have arms or legs or mentally, and they're just full of joy in life.
Yeah.
And like they got something figured out. We don't. But so I'm not saying he's miserable because he was disabled.
Okay. Oh, right.
I was speaking more of a soul sense because I saw pain. I saw
Okay, so
hate,
you're looking.
anger.
You felt it from like a vitalistic component. Not okay. I feel what you're saying.
You're in a wheelchair. You must be miserable. No, that's stupid. That's just
you're talking about like you felt something, a vibe, a soul.
Exactly.
Type of
Exactly. Thank you, sir, for saying that. People, I'm like waiting for your emails in the comments. That mother, you don't know.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean.
That's crazy. I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't think that was Stephen Hawking's going with or against Billy Graham. I thought
not against like a MC battle, not like they were at Clash, but I think there was a time they started together.
that would be a great video.
It was, dude. Like back in the 50s, they both were up and coming people.
Mm-hmm.
And Brother Stephen Hawking started out as a believer and just went.
Their ideologies were different.
Yeah, and so I'm not quite sure on that. So you might have a fellow listener and be like, hey, it was actually this guy.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Right.
Yeah, I don't feel like typing it in.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm
Anyway.
not even close to knowing.
But I think that goes back to not judging by the outward. And I just had this talk with my boys. I'm sorry, dude. I just cut in front of you. You had something else.
No, I'm straight out the gate.
I just had this talk with my boys. I picked them up from camp, and I said, you don't know what people are going through, right? For example, if you got a friend who seems kind of distant that day, and maybe he wasn't real acknowledging to you, you don't take it as rejection because you don't know what they're going through. They might have had a real rough day, and they've just kind of been secluded, and they got a lot on their mind. Instead of reacting to that, it's going up to them and say, hey, dude, or friend, whatever you call them, it's, you okay? How can I help? Because you learn your identity in Christ. And I told him, look, I'm not saying rejection doesn't hurt. Rejection just hurts. I don't care how strong of a person you are. Words just hurt. Mm-hmm. Rejection hurts no matter what it is. But when you're mature in Christ and realizing more of the Father's love for you, you can kind of look past it and see, okay, God, what's going on here with them, man? What do they need? How can I help? Instead of, and I told them, it's like no one's job to make you happy, feel loved. And if you put that job on someone, you're going to be disappointed every time. And no one needs to carry your standard. What I mean by that is, it's not my job, it's my wife's job to make me happy, you know? But I could sit here in this chair with my arms crossed and put that burden on you and say, it's your job to make sure I feel this way. Dude, that destroy anybody. It's a lot of work. And I said, with your friends, because my youngest was kind of acting up in class, and I said, you know, the teacher's a great girl, loves acting. She's in high school, and she's like, man, I was just ready to, you know, dude, you got to go. And I was bummed about my son because, you know, my youngest, he's wise beyond his years. He's 10, but dude, he'll have a conversation with you like he was 30 and tell you all the ins and outs and what he thinks. But trying to teach him about kindness, I'm like, look, it bothers me that a teacher said, you know how to honor and respect. You don't know what that teacher's going through. And she's trying to do her job. And for you to act stupid, not okay. Well, I don't understand why she was upset. No, it doesn't matter what you, because we, like even with my oldest, when he does stuff to the youngest, I was just kidding. Mm-hmm. We hide behind that word too much. If you see him irritable, stop. Just knock it off, man. You're going to create more fight. Yeah, but well, you hurt him. Well, I didn't mean to hurt him. It doesn't matter if you didn't mean to hurt him. You still hurt them. Yeah. Go make it right. You know, so I just think we don't know what people are going through, man. And assume, oh, they hate me. They reject me. Because the enemy's always whispering in your head, oh, they think you suck. This show sucks. I'm like, dude, you got to stop introspecting. It'll destroy you. Yeah. The difference, instead of receiving I got good people who love me, who give me criticism. Good one. Not criticism, but look, dude, I noticed this, this, and this. I know their love for me, so I receive it.
Yeah.
If someone's just speaking stupid, I'm kind of like in the air about the other. I'm like, dude, you need to take a lap, dude. Go. But so now I'm just rambling on that note. I totally forgot where I was going with it, but
I forget everything I say all the time on here. It's great. I'm sure the people love it.
Oh, I do it all the time. What you talk about? I don't know, man.
Doesn't everyone?
Yeah.
We don't do that.
But
that's
dude,
okay.
Let me ask you something.
No.
Mouth of York. Because I've watched you grow, and even with your hip hop writing, and when you started doing that, and even doing this, man. I remember me and my wife were saying, dude, that guy is. I forget what word she used, but it's like he's incredible. He's got something in him that's just for the world.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And for me to come in here and see this, whether people call them a believe beginnings, but I'm like, man, this is amazing. What made you just decide? Okay, the root of this question is because why people say why you go by the name Voice, or if I spin records, it's Voice, because I believe everything preaches.
Mm-hmm.
Your shirt that you wear, billboards preach, everything preaches. There's a scripture that talked about John the Baptist being the voice in the wilderness, crying out, repent. So I want my life to be a voice. And of course, then, your thing's the mouth of York, your voice. And what was in you that decided, I'm going to write. I'm going to poet. I'm going to throw a beat behind it. I'm going to rock the mic. And then I'm going to do a podcast. I think it's amazing. Like, you're officially iTunes podcast. And I'm like, Caleb, I'm like, no freaking way, dude. It's
because podcasting's the easiest. I have to write nothing.
Right.
No, I have a lot of fun with it. I don't know. I don't really know. I just like doing anything that's like this. I'll tell you one thing that gives me motivation and kind of pisses me off in a good way. Mm-hmm. Is the mentality of people thinking just because they're working or just because they live in a certain part of the planet, geography, whatever, that they're not premium product.
Exactly. That's good.
And I don't believe it. I just think that what you were saying about fear is what stops people. They get scared. Mm-hmm. And I completely understand that, but I'm done being scared.
Yeah, man, that's good, dude.
And
so
like I don't care if this takes off. I would really like if the podcast would take off, because I'm kind of grown up now, so like I kind of feel like
I'm a big kid now.
Yeah, I'm a real boy. No, not, and even I'm too young for a podcast. Honest to God, if you want.
But you would still do this.
I don't know dick. Okay, I just don't know anything.
Well, no, that's the passion. Whether, like my brother in the skate culture, if this took off or not, I'll still do it.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. I love how you said that. People are stuck in this mindset out of fear, scared to really branch out into what they're called to do out of that fear. And, well, is it going to make enough money? Is it going to do this? Is it going to make that? I'm like, cool if it does. But it doesn't matter. I'm still going to do it.
Yeah.
And I love that about you.
Well, you could go on the internet and see all these things, and I just think, like, dude, I can do that. Like, we can do that, and we can do it just as good. It's just all we lack is money.
Let's go right now. Call.
But, and again, I'm young, so why not? I just like not being miserable. I like being busy. Mm-hmm. I like everything you can do. Really, you can find some aspect of enjoyment. Mm-hmm. And with my job, I find aspects of enjoyment. With podcasts, I find a lot of aspects. In suffering, I find aspects of growth, at least. Even when it's just the worst. Like, I recently put a hole in my wall in a rent house. Real smart of me.
Right.
The wall didn't feel anything. And I went through both ends. because I
You
was
see the other people on the other side.
yeah.
My bad.
No. At least it was no. Thank God. Yeah, that was I don't know. Okay. Let me tell you this story.
Please do. I'm intrigued now.
Very intrigued.
You know, so my girlfriend's battery has been dying on her. I have this little jump starter that just you plug it on and it starts the car.
Okay,
And-
hold up. What size battery? Because I got this brand new battery sitting at my house that the auto store misdirected. So I bought a new battery. And, you could take your old one back to this place. So I did. No, here's your new battery. Well, I already bought a new battery. We'll just take it anyway. So I got this brand new car battery at my house.
It's
So
a tiny little one for sure.
Yeah, ours is
mine's pretty tiny, too.
Yeah, ours
Yeah.
is pretty tiny.
I'll send you the info when I get home. And
Mine's
fit.
big.
It's like the size of a cardboard.
So anyway, sorry. Go ahead. I was gonna,
Yeah. Well, regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I gave her this little jump starter, and that wasn't even doing it. Like, because the battery, she drained the battery, and it's eventually gonna die. So I knew it was coming. And she gave me a text and was like, "Okay, look, this is getting ridiculous," you know. And I was like, "All right, cool. I'm a man. I'll take care of this."
Got it.
So
Manly
I don't tell her nothing. On the way back from work, I pull into Advanced Auto Parts. I grab a battery, and I'm just thinking, you know, I'm gonna get this hooked up.
Quick fix.
Well, she didn't get in till late, like with her car. So I was like, okay, fine. This is even better. I'll get up early, won't tell her nothing. Swap the battery. She'll, you know, be all tired getting to her car, trying to start it. Don't even think about it's dead. And it just starts, and she, you know, she might be all, oh my God, sorry, yeah, my boyfriend. Or maybe she wouldn't even think of me. Like, she'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, it fixed itself.
Right.
Because that's how things work. And,
I looked at it, it started.
well, babe, what about your battery? It fixed itself. Oh, cool, it fixed itself.
Santa Claus, middle of the night.
Yeah. So that's what I was doing. I was doing a favor. Well, I hate Ford. Come to find out, the new Ford, this dude, her little, I forgot what it was even called. I keep wanting to say Edge. No, Escape.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, to get to the battery,
Oh, man.
first thing in the morning at 5:40. That's when I'm doing this. And which is not a big deal because I get up
Yeah.
right there. But normally I take a shower, but not this time. And dude, there's like 12 bolts to get you had to take the whole panel where the windshield wipers are at. You had to take that whole thing off.
Yep.
And then you have to, you know, oh my God. I forgot what else I had to take. Oh, the reservoir hose that was connected to that and everything. And I'm all, I can't believe I have to do this for a battery. Like, I'm thinking how my dad thinks, okay? Because my dad,
Should be right here.
yeah, my dad's an old time mechanic, okay?
Yeah.
Ultimately a master electrician, but an old time mechanic. He was always in cars. And you got to lose your shit a little bit when you're
Yeah.
fixing stuff. You know, like,
Yeah, I know, dude. I lost it many times.
and so only I didn't lose it a little bit. I freaking ripped that stuff out, threw it in my front yard. I was like, oh my God, got that hooked up, started her up. And then I'm just thinking, you know what? If my girlfriend wouldn't have freaking, you know, I don't know, drained her battery for the second time in 2 years, like we wouldn't be in this situation. Instead of really looking at myself, needing to calm down and, you know,
Right.
think. So I go in there, I'm just going to wake her up and be like, hey, don't drain the battery, okay? Don't leave your lights on, all right? I just ruined the surprise. So I go in and I look at the clock and I'm like, oh, I'm late. Time really flew by. Holy crap, I got to be in Midland, other side of Midland, in 20 minutes. Great. Cool. So I just need to get coffee and grab my stuff and go. And I grab my cup that was behind the coffee maker. The whole coffee maker falls onto the ground. Bust everywhere. Didn't have any coffee. Just, you know, and I grind my coffee, people.
Yeah.
And it's a little different. It's not your Folgers, Dollar General. No, I grind my coffee. I smell it. I keep it in, you know, it's shade-grown coffee.
Yes,
Locally
I
owned.
thought we were the only ones.
No, it, you know, like you kind of get attached to it.
Yeah.
You
want
really do.
excellence.
And it's not like the addiction. It's like, dude, I worked real hard for this, for the, you know, for the perfect taste, for, you know,
Exactly.
you're a chemist.
Right.
I have a cat on me. Great. And, dude, Anna is a brand new coffee maker.
Done.
dusted the pot. It was done, like fell in shit. So I blacked out with my leg in the wall right there, through it, and I'm all like, just realized what I did, dude. I start hysterically being like, oh my god, dude, like, this is real. What are you thinking, you retard? You know, like,
I just put a hole in the wall.
and dude, I lost it. I called into work. I was like, mentally not gonna do it, dude. I'll run a positive straight into a negative. I'll run the 120 straight into a 20. I'll blow this whole side up. Don't let me go. And it sucked. And dude, now it really got me mentally. Like I sat there that whole week feeling like hell, you know, like just can't believe it got that far, because it's just didn't need to go that far. You know what I mean? I would have been a little late, but hey, it didn't make a damn. I could have got my stuff together. And dude, I kind of like having that hole there.
A reminder.
Yeah, I really do, because it will never get that far again, like that far. That was just stupid.
That's amazing, dude, because we've all been there, and sometimes it still happens. And I think for me, you easily let your mind make it worse than it really is, which causes more of the anxiety and intenseness. Yeah, because of the fear. Now I'm gonna be late. No, I can't just. And the stuff that I create that I think really matters up here, and I'm like, really? I really flipped out over what? And they say for a man that when we get so angry, our mind reverts back to a mental state. We can't think. That's why we lash out. Mm-hmm. Like if you notice when you have arguments with your spouse or girlfriend, whatever, and the words they say where you get so angry, that's why when you walk away and you calm down, then you come back and you say, yeah, but you know what? Because you actually had time that you're thinking now. Mm-hmm. And at the moment you're getting so mad, it comes out in rage. And then you look more stupid. Yeah. You know, and
didn't help.
I tell you on a battery thing, my little thing from work, and I went by RTD real quick to drop off something, and Lindsay was there and her car was dead. Oh, it's just a battery. I was on lunch, so I was in a hurry, and I'm like, yeah, thing's fried. Look at the sides are just bulging. Your battery is gone. Boom, picked her up. We ran the Sears. She brought it back. I mean, I'm hurrying, and I'm just talking. Rigged it up. All right, turn it on, and I rigged it up wrong. Put the positive on the negative, and
pride.
And you know what grabbed me? I thought I was gonna puke because my fear was I just blew her car.
I feel you.
I lost it. And RTD was like, hey, can you look at this form and papers? Like, no, you don't understand. I can't think right now. I'm so freaking mad at myself. Like, I got to leave. And Lindsay's like, it's cool, Rob. I'm so thankful you stopped. And I said, no, how could I be so stupid? I kicked the crap out of myself all day. Yeah. Thankful for the new cars, kind of protect themselves from that. Buy a little $4 fuse, fix the problem. Yeah. New battery, no big deal. But that moment that I realized I just blew up someone's car because of my haste, and I didn't pay attention. I'm like, why is this prawn not fitting over the negative, not fitting right? And I'm getting my pliers and screwdrivers, making it wider. This is I'm hammering it in, and then I'm busting up the whole prawn of the battery terminal thing. You think I would have paid attention to what I was doing? Dude, it would have stopped me.
That's from the factory, from the manufacturers. They're probably like, all right, we're gonna make this idiot proof. Check it out. There's no way they're gonna get this on this terminal, and there's no way they're gonna get this one on this terminal. No, I know. I've done it.
And my wife's good to call me out. She'll be, if I come home and if I'm nitpicking. And I many times I've gone to my boys and said, God, I'm so sorry right there. Please forgive me, because I've been like, why isn't this done? Why didn't you pick that up? Why is this? Why is that? And she'd be like, how you feeling today, Rob? I'm good, man. We just need to get stuff in order. We need to be on this. And really, I was beating myself up over crap, and just on the externals, there's just a reflection of what's going on the inside. And I haven't gone to the Father. I haven't done nothing because of my mindset. And I actually apologized to the Father. I said, I'm sorry for treating you like a religion. Because when people say, man, go pray about it. I'm like, dude, I don't want to jump through a bunch of hoops. You know, like a jack in the box. Oh, if I read my scriptures right, I did that right. Now God will come up and pop up and finally bless me. And it seemed like a lot of work. That's where I was mentally. That's where I was. And I didn't want to deal with it. And my wife just said, you go sit with the Father. And I just, no, I'm going to go work out. I couldn't work out, and I finally just fell in my bed. I cried, and I felt the Father's presence, like he put his arm around me and said, he spoke to my heart. I can't, whether it was a vision or whatever, and he said, you act like it's all up to you. I cried. And I said, God, I'm so sorry for treating you like you're a hard taskmaster, like you're a religion, like I have to earn just to come before you. Because I realized if my kids felt that way about me, like they have to make themselves perfect just before they come in my presence. Oh, Daddy dearest, am I in full parts with thirst? May I please have a drink from your fridge? Bro, what, right? What's mine is yours. You don't have to ask. But it's because through Christ and what he did, I can go to the Father and say, I'm really pissed. This is not right. You know?
Yeah.
And so, I like you said, I let things... And still about it. It's still something I'm learning just to trust the Father with, of like, I can trust you're going to guide me through it. But see what it is? I want the answer right now. Mm-hmm. I want to feel it now. Mm-hmm. I got an event in Oklahoma a couple of weeks. I want to feel it, the strength and the grace and all that right now. I don't need it now. But it's kind of like a self-check. If I don't feel it, something's wrong with me. I need to make sure I feel it. And we get so silly. So, silly. Put holes through walls. We break things. We destroy ourselves. And God's like, I didn't ask you to do any of that.
Yeah.
Just hang out with me, man. I love you. Yeah, I know you love me. No, you don't, dude. No, you don't.
To be fair, it was for love. Does that count? Like I did it for love.
And that's what makes it amazing. You know, and our women are so good to us because they see our hearts.
Oh my God. I told her, I was like, babe, you need to break up with me. 100%. I'm not breaking up with you, but you definitely need to break up with me. Like, I'm not okay person. Sorry. But dude, you know what? Oh my God. You know how she's so amazing. Because
I love Julia. Julia's just...
Here's what happened. Once I knocked that down and put my leg through the
just put a
wall.
Table in front of it.
Yeah. She of course awakes. And I'm like hysterical, and she's like, what is going on? Oh my God. Like,
wait, let me get my camera.
No, what she does is she's so great. She walks over there, grabs the broom, starts sweeping up the coffee and everything. Like, I'm all, babe, no, don't clean up what are you doing? And she just like one eye open. Ironically enough, she sleeps with her eyes open, and I'm not playing. She sleeps with her eyes open.
Yeah. That's amazing. My wife's the same way. I look at like it's the worst thing. She'll come and just, it's okay, babe. It's okay. No, it's not. You see, babe, it's fine.
I did this. I should be punished.
World, you gotta hear me. Let me tell you something a little about Julia and Caleb. Don't be nervous.
She's legal. Don't believe him.
There's something different.
Okay, if y'all don't know, I ask Caleb why he does what he does. If y'all don't know this man, he's authentic, and that's what I love about him. He don't BS. This is who he is, right? But watching him grow from a nice word would probably be knucklehead. But I tell you, this amazing ripper, amazing skater, just amazing. But seeing him at the park, and I'm like, you know, in the skate culture, everyone's doing the same tricks, but it's about how you do them. And, you know, guys like Caleb, or I've watched other cats progress, and it's amazing watching, you know, like Caleb, John, and some of the other riders are just progressing, or even like Alan. But there's something about a style.
We don't talk about Alan on this podcast.
I'm sorry. My bad. That's blasphemy.
Yes.
But if you watch a skater and the creativity that comes through skateboarding, the style, and I remember seeing that about Caleb, and I'm like, dude, he'll just make these off-the-wall things. But watching him grow, change his thinking, because I'm saying this because people need to realize, look, dude, if you really get your mind out of your rear, you can do something. Like how you said, I think people settle for a less premium life. But I say, you got to understand where Caleb came from. It's from this knuckleheadness, and going to work with Bo, which that's an amazing accomplishment. You should get a Medal of Honor just for that one, right? Love Bo. He's my boy. But
I can handle anything now.
right? Bo is just the amazing man, amazing heart, and he loves the Lord and loves people. But Caleb, while working, decides I'm putting myself through school, gets a degree, and able to do this stuff. It's because he's like, wait a minute, I'm going to stop. Something's got to change. And I watched that about you, and I'm like, I told my wife, like, dude, he's graduating. This kid that was this way realized I can do better. I don't need to settle for the scraps the world throws at me and says, this is only who you are. Because even my kids in West Texas were tatted up, long haired. Yeah. I'm like, okay, people are going to judge. That's just who they are. But your character's got to override that.
Yeah.
And watching Caleb and even Julia, man, she's got such a soft heart and just loves people, loves my boys. And watching her just skate. One day she'll get a kickflip, she'll just land it. But I watch her diligence, always practicing it. But my point is this: like, everyone's listening. This is not just the fluff, dude. So
amazingly, these areas are so.
These areas are amazing. I don't say it's the fluff, but guys, I want to let you know you're listening to this realness and authentic, and where this couple has come from, and Caleb, who's hungry for truth, really. And watching him grow from a knucklehead street skater until non-knuckleheadness.
An even more knucklehead,
but
college graduate street skater.
Yeah, that worked to put himself through school and then let the judgments of the world just keep him under a rock. So I'm proud of you, dude. Proud of both of you.
Thank you.
Love you guys. And
I feel gay.
in the non-gayish way.
In the non-politically incorrect way.
Word.
Whatever that is. Well, politically zimzer.
Whatever, whatever the label is.
No, well, I appreciate it, man. Rob, dude. Did you just kill it right there?
What do you mean? Like it's cut off? Isn't that working anymore?
No, it's working.
Okay.
It's working fine.
No, I didn't kill it. I was thinking that I'm like, I got to take a commercial break. And just thought out because as I watch you and I'm listening to you and I'm looking at Julia and I'm just.
How can you not look at her?
Right.
You're pretty. Okay. Not if she makes that face.
Yeah.
I need a third camera.
just to watch Julia the whole time and all this.
That's what she's doing.
So I just say I appreciate you, man. And I think people need to know, dude, you're not just a guy who woke up, oh, I'm here on the podcast. No, he walked through some stuff and he's pursuing truth. And the word says if you seek, you'll find it. And he's not looking to ride anybody's coattails and not really to be the trend follower. And so I appreciate that about you. So, and keep seeking, man. Keep going after it with all your heart.
Hey, thank you. When's Buster coming to your house?
Next weekend, actually.
Yeah.
But it's just for a day. I think he's coming in town doing some other things until we have a day where he's got some appointments that, already booked.
Dang. James Buster is a tattoo artist out of El Paso.
The myth, the legend. James Buster.
Yeah, there's very few people that let me touch with the needle now. And he's one of them. He can touch me all he wants with his needle.
I mean, he's, like you said, he's amazing. He's doing it 20 years, but that's where his heart is. After he tats you, God speaks to him about people, and he walks with them outside, and like, can I just pray with you? We had a girl couple come last week. Like, I didn't know they were in El Paso, and Buster was like, "Well, I'll be in Odessa," and so they came up and. I just said, they're just hanging out, getting tatted, and I just felt, I'm like, hey, can I pray for you all? And I'm expecting that no, like the wall, you're a Christian, you'll probably vote for Trump, and you probably hate gays, and you probably want to build the wall, and
yes to all those.
Yeah, right. And people don't realize I'm half Hispanic. My mom's from Chihuahua, Mexico, and what I really felt to pray over him was like I was asking the Father, what do you see? And as I prayed, I just said, Father, show him that you're good. And it's like what this world has caused pain in their heart. heal it. Because I believe choices we make is because of that pain. I said, just show them who you are. And that was the end of it. And I said, dude, you're all more welcome back. Please come back. And then your mind, the religious mind, said, oh, you better, you better said this is wrong. You better. And I said, the Father has a plan. Let him work. Is there time to be out of love? I've told people out of love to my friend, dude, what are you doing? You need to stop. This is going to kill you. Whether they choose that or not, that's their decision. But sometimes when the Father shows you something about people, you got to know when it's supposed to be said, or you just take it back to your prayer closet and say, I just need to pray for him. Love him right now. Just, okay, the Father knows. The Lord knows. It's not my job right now to be, if I do anything now, because people come to our house all the time. Sometimes it's spotless. Sometimes it's like, there's a booger on the wall. Someone brought their kid.
Every second of the
booger
day.
wall. There's, and before I had a fear of people's judgment. Oh, we got to clean. We got to make sure perfect. And God spoke to my heart one time and said, you're scared of man's judgment. But no, I'm not. That's my first reaction. And there was. And I asked him, dude, do you just heal that?
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything based off. I don't want to clean my house because I'm afraid what someone would say when they walk in.
Yeah, it's why.
That's stupid.
Yeah. I like cleaning my house because it's efficient, it's organized.
Exactly.
And it does me better.
Exactly.
And I feel like you can actually take on the world when you have a clean room, clean house, and everything like that. Like you can, Jordan Peterson, do you know who that is?
No.
You might have heard of him. Okay, he's a psychologist out of Toronto, a professor out of Toronto, Canada. And he wrote this book, and it kind of was like, it was like a 12 rules or something. One of them was like, it's ironic for you to basically judge the world and complain, basically was a better word, about the world and how things are going when your room is dirty.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
good point.
And it's just like, yeah, you can't even hold your own environment, your own where you lay.
You got all the answers for the world, though.
Yeah,
you want to fix it,
and you want to fix it. So like that's something that I've taken pretty hard. And he does lectures on the Bible. He's pretty dang good
on that moment. I guess going back to the thought I said a while ago, Bird was off that point. Like, you don't know where someone's going through. Someone could walk in my house. I've walked in houses before and it was spotless. I felt like a museum. It wasn't welcoming. Like,
felt like North Korea.
Yeah, like either they had a maid to clean it, or they have nothing else going on, so they clean house. Or you got someone who's so busy with life. I never forget this. I picked up one of my mentors in El Paso years ago in the airport, and we just had Kaden. Just got home from the hospital not too long ago, and he was in town doing something. I was like, Rob, I want to see that baby. Picked him up from the Marriott like at 6 a.m. We go have breakfast at Denny's, and I'm like, Z, man. His name was Lloyd, but we call him Z. Sorry for the mess. He's like, no, man, you're living.
Yeah.
There's a difference when it's just stupid laziness or this is life, dude. You know what? We have church in our home. We got homeschool. We got people are in and out all day. Sometimes, you know what? Babe, we don't need to clean today.
No.
You just sit down and I'll get that booger off the wall tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
You shouldn't. To do it and create stress and create anxiety, that's just plain unhealthy.
Exactly.
Like whenever it's spotless, you're afraid to sit down.
If you don't know, world, be kind. You don't know what that person's walking through. Real quick story, if you don't mind.
No, I completely mind.
Okay.
Please don't. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. And I heard a pastor in Phoenix. He was talking about this. His church, there was a Denny's down the road, and he went there one night just to eat. And I'm hearing him tell the story. He said, the waitress was just rude. We've all experienced that, and she was just like rude, like just bad. And he was just like finished his meal, and he left a huge tip. Huge. Waitress comes back and saw the tip. And I don't know if this Denny's is still there. It was a Denny's that's on the corner. It's in probably North Phoenix, Paradise Valley area, like Cactus and Thunderbird, right there on the intersection. Phoenix First Assembly, right there, past Barnett.
Like, how huge are you talking about?
Use the church?
No, like, how huge the tip?
I don't know. Knowing this man, it was probably a lot. Probably paid her rent because he's a giver, and he left with a huge tip, and she saw it and sat down the table and cried.
Yeah.
And just lost it. And she said, I'm so sorry. I don't deserve this. But my husband, I get a call right now, and he decided to leave me. You know? And so you don't know what the other, and not, okay, let me back up. Some people are just jerks, just to be a jerk, dude. Mm-hmm. But that's not, even if they're still a jerk, the word says the goodness of the Lord leads men to repentance. And you might feel like, well, they don't deserve my tip. They don't deserve it. It's nothing what you think. What is the Father telling you to do?
Yeah.
And for Pastor Tom to say, because most people would have got offended right there. I know believers, and I sit with them at tables, and I'm like embarrassed to be with them. Dude, you really that much of a jerk? You know what I mean? And waiters would tell you the worst crowd they hate is the church crowd. Sunday morning. Yeah. There's this jerk. There was the worst tippers. And I'm thinking, man, we're ambassadors of Christ. We should be like, I know a guy, if his meal ticket is $80, he tips $80. Yeah. He tells me, when that tell me, I've heard him say he has waitresses and waiters chase him out of the restaurant. You left me $100 tip. Yeah, I know. And like freak out. And he just shares the love of God for him. Changes people's lives right then and there. And that's so amazing. Pretty much saying, man, you don't know off your moment. Like people can walk into a home or your car and make a judgment and you don't realize, dude, I've been putting 60 hours. I just kicked a hole in my wall, spilled coffee. It's been a rough day. But people say, oh, you don't have order. You're lazy. You're I'm like,
go shut up.
Yeah, don't take a lap, dude. Yeah. But people don't know that. People wouldn't know the kind of day you just had. So be kind, people. Be kind. Get your head out of your rear. But anyway, that was that thought and what he said. But I love a good lecture. Ravi Zacharias, if you watch TED Talks, check out this one, man. There's an amazing TED Talk. Who watches TED Talks?
I do.
Love them. Have you seen the ones on Rodney Mullen?
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
This chick's name Brene Brown. Major doctor. Like, you got degrees in black belt, 3rd degree, 4th degree black belt. She's like a 3rd degree in whatever this doctoring thing she does. Not a believer at first. She did a 6-year study on human nature and what makes us click and why we do things we do. Check it out. It's like 21 million views, whatever. But after her 6-year study, gave her life to Christ because she realized our core nature, we desire love, community. Mm-hmm. And so I think I just said that off the fact you said, hey, you watch that guy. He has some good topics. And I love watching people discuss and share good topics, whether it's TED Talk, whether it's debates there at Harvard or Yale or whatever.
Or the Mouth of York podcast.
Or the Mouth of York podcast.
If you want the real deal, you go to the Mouth of York podcast.
Yeah.
You want legit. And I told Caleb, look, man, keep it real, keep it raw. Don't change anything.
I'm shaking my head.
Bringing my boy up.
Yeah. I was like, all right. I don't know many podcasts that, hey, I brought my kid. Hey, this is Mel Gibson and his son. Hi, how's he doing? 13-year-old son.
You know what's crazy? I've asked God just ways for me and him to connect more because he's 13 and he's getting his own little world. And a couple of weeks ago, we built a launch ramp together. And
that's so sick.
And he woke up early. Like, I'm eating breakfast and he woke up. I'm like, hey, man. Hey, I'm going to go hang out with Caleb. You want to come? Sure. Because he loves us. He loves music. He loves music, acting. He's such a creative cat. And I thought, this is his vibe. I thought he would enjoy it. So I appreciate you letting him hang out. And
dude, it's all good here. I just hope you... Yeah.
So good in the hood.
So that's why I said, don't change nothing. Just speak your mind, speak your thoughts. He's a big boy. He knows.
You know what I like about you, Rob, is your attention to your children. And I feel like if you are complaining about society, if you are complaining about all this stuff, most wise people like Martin Luther King and Gandhi and all these, people that have made an impact in the world have first started with the children.
That's good. On
their points and the values of our youth. And I feel like it starts with the parents. And this is all remedial, but we don't ever do it, as a mass, we don't do it. I mean, I know I hear all kinds of stories about the parents and where does it stop. You know what happened with those parents, and all that good stuff. But you and Bo, so Lindsay, you guys really take your kids' lives seriously. It's very strange. You work all the time, but yeah, no, it's a connection, and this world is rough and bumpy and a wild ride. And the worst thing you can do, I feel like, is coddle the mind of your child. You just need to be real with your child, you know, and because then they're just going to go into the world ass backwards, and it's just not going to work out very well. That kind of felt like it was a little bit on my end, but my parents were great.
Yeah.
They stayed, at least. You know, like, at least they stayed. So, but yeah, on that note, dude, I think we're going to end it because this was a beautiful conversation.
Yeah. I was kind of feeling it, and I'm like, you know, I'm not going to. You can feel it, right? It's like,
yeah.
Like my wife was always in the back, land the plane. So I felt it, and so I'm like, okay, I want to stop, and I'm going to let Caleb decide when he needs to land the plane. But no, you're exactly right.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think that works out. I think that's good.
My ending note, thank you so much to let me hang out. I appreciate your heart.
You guys coming through.
I appreciate you being a voice. I really do, especially on social media.
I'm actually sorry for my voice, people.
And doing something.
Sucks.
But you're doing something, dude, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Love you guys.
Later, guys.
Late.
Thanks for coming through. Bye.